All right, Bueller and Dodge on the phone with another special treat for you this Saturday, live from Las Vegas. It is UFC 173. The main event is going to feature TJ Dillashaw up against Renan Barão for the UFC bantamweight title. TJ, thanks for joining us, man.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
So there's been quite a bit of shuffling on this card. At one time it was supposed to be Weidman versus Belfort, Weidman versus Machida, and now you're being pushed up because Rafael Sunsao is injured. How does it feel to be getting your title shot right now, about a month away from your wedding, correct?
Yeah, it's perfect timing. Everything's working out the way it's supposed to. I feel like I'm the next in line for a title shot anyway, so it's I feel like I'm getting what I deserve. But also just the timing of Dwayne being with our team, and it's just a perfect little storybook ending for me.
Now, this is his last fight with Team Alpha Male, that's correct?
Yeah, as the head coach, yeah.
I got to ask you a question, man. Your wedding's coming up in a month. So if you do beat Renan Barão on Saturday, are you going to wear the belt to the wedding?
Absolutely. That was the plan from the get-go. I'm going to be wearing that belt everywhere I go.
You're not going to be Ken Sylvia, man. You can't wear it to Walmart.
Come on. Wherever. Champion of the world.
You got to get a wedding band that looks like the belt.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. Now, you're going up against Renan Barão, who's he's got the belt. He's been doing this for a while. He's got a lot of fights under his belt as well. And like Dodge said, you replacing a fighter on this card. Like, what has that been for you, like mentally, to have to come and replace this guy? I don't want to say super late notice, but at the same time, kind of jumping in there against a guy who's got 31 fights since his last loss.
I haven't thought about that too much because I've been training for Barão for a while now. I've been preparing for him since Dwayne's been with us because Dwayne's how good it was, and he knew I was going to get a title shot eventually, and he wanted me to be ready for when the opportunity came. The goal was to be the champion of the world, and so I was training for the best in my weight class, and the best in my weight class was Renan Barão. We were picking apart things I did in my game to make it better for him, and things to watch out for, and so we've been preparing for this guy for a while.
Now, Renan Barão has recently said that he thinks that you think you're now a striker, and he's just going to wait for you to make a mistake, and he'll be able to take you out relatively easily. Now, do you think he's kind of sleeping on just forgetting the fact that you're a phenomenal wrestler, or do you think he's kind of talking about, or it seems maybe in your last fight you seem to be really hunting for that KO, not necessarily setting everything up the way you used to?
Saying that I'm looking for the KO instead of setting things up?
Yeah, basically with the interview that I told him, he said that you seem to think you're a striker now, and so he's going to lay in wait for you to make a mistake.
He thinks you're sloppy.
Yeah, well, I actually feel like I set things up a lot better in my last fight. That was the whole point of my last fight. I'm hoping he's thinking that. That's awesome because I feel like I am the better striker than him. Yeah, is he a little bit bigger than I am and whatnot? Yeah, but I feel like I'm the better striker, and my stats prove it as well. But I'm obviously not going out there just to strike with him. I got to beat him in a very well-rounded game. I think that's the best way to beat the guy, and so I'm looking to take the fight everywhere.
Now, if you bring that belt home, are you gonna rub it in Uriah Faber's face?
No, hell no, man. He's helped get me to where I'm at, and he'll be the one. He'll be just as proud as I am. He's a very supportive friend and a great guy, and he's, like I said, helped get me to where I'm at.
So now we also recently saw a video on YouTube of you training with Joe Rogan. Look like some chokes and some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was at the Onnit headquarters, sponsored by Onnit, and ever since I got the Ultimate Fighter, I hit them up because I love their products, and we've just built a real close relationship. Well, Rogan's with Onnit, and so when I went out to the headquarters to do some media stuff for them and hang out, he was there in the studio showing some moves, and me and Danny just happened to roll in at the right time, and he got all excited and started to show us some stuff that he was working on, and we worked on some Japanese necktie, and he was showing some Uma Plata series to Danny. It was really cool.
Now, we've started a rumor that Joe Rogan is going to be the new head coach up there at Team Alpha Male. Is there any truth to that?
No.
Can we pretend that it's true?
Absolutely. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, help us. We helped perpetuate the rumor that you guys started that Dominic Cruz got his arm broken by Ronda Rousey. So if you could help us out by pushing that Joe Rogan's going to be the coach, that would help us.
All right, sounds good.
We're just going to keep saying it anyway. It doesn't matter.
So another question I got for you is, you don't seem to have a nickname on the official sheet that the UFC has given us here, but all around the internet, floating around, somehow you have this nickname of the Viper. What is this? Where did this come from? It seems like I saw you on UFC Tonight. They asked you about it. You didn't seem to quite like it, I guess. But what is that?
Well, it's not the fact I just don't like it. It's the fact that I didn't give myself a nickname. I got off of The Ultimate Fighter, and I went to go check out my record to see if any of those fights went on my record on SureDog. And then all of a sudden, I had a nickname on SureDog, the Viper. That's where the nickname came from. I don't know. Somehow I got put up there, and and I've actually told them a couple of times too that it wasn't my nickname, but they just left it up there.
I think it's down today, but.
Oh, okay, nice.
Is that like I am the Viper? I come to Vosh and Vipe your windows, like that old joke. It's got to be it. Has to be it.
Yeah.
So again, it's going down this Saturday. You got to check it out. The UFC, the main event. TJ Dillashaw from our own Northern California gym, Team Alpha Male, going up against the world champ Renan Barão. Always an exciting fight. Both of you guys always put on hell of a war. It's UFC 173. Make sure you check it out on pay-per-view, of course. And before we let you go, we got one more fight question for you. It's one that Dodge came up with. We'd like to get the fighters' take on it because you guys are professionals of what you would do. And it's a who would win in a fight question.
All right, so the question is, who would fight a bear with machine guns for hands and feet or a pterodactyl that poops chainsaws?
The bear has what?
Machine guns?
For hands and feet?
Has machine guns, yeah.
Machine guns, yes.
I think I would fight man, that's a tough one. I'd probably fight the bear because at least he's on the ground, man. It'd be hard for me to get... Well, I mean, what do I have? Do I have whatever I want?
No.
Oh, no.
Who is the bear or the pterodactyl?
Yeah, it's the bear versus the pterodactyl.
Oh, I feel you. Shoot, dude. I'm going with the bear with the machine guns.
Yeah? We have to chalk one up for the bear with the machine guns.
All right.
Dodge actually saw how big a pterodactyl is, and he's rethinking his question now. Hey, TJ Dillashaw, we really thank you for taking the time to talk to us this morning, and of course, we wish you the best of luck this weekend at the UFC up against Renan Barão. Again, UFC 173 on pay-per-view. Make sure you check it out this Saturday. Get some friends together and have a good time. TJ, thanks again, man.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for having me again, man.